Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new, is this really new? Not really. The Maybelline Dream Cushion. A lot of people have been asking me to review this, and usually I don't review American makeup that much, but it is a cushion, and we all well know we'll be testing them cushions on this channel. And I was in America when it came out, so I just picked it up while I was there. They also have this thing there in the same display, this Dream Illuminator Corrector. I guess it's just concealer. It's shit too bright. Sorry. Here's a cushion up close, just your standard, cushion. And then here's the concealer. It has that one, it has the fucking, like, sticky, gross tape here that you can't take off properly. Ugh. I believe there's 8 shades, and I got mine in the color 30 Warm Nude. It sounds like it would be my color. I couldn't really test to see, and I don't think this is a good representation of what the color is going to be like. In Maybelline foundations, I'm around like 30, 20, 30, so I just picked up this one. If it's too light, and if it's too dark, I'll just use this one, because this is the light, the concealer I got in the lighted shade, so I should be able to use it like in the highlighter areas. But apparently you're supposed to get really good coverage, but it's like a dewy finish, so we'll see, because we all know that's the life I'm about. But first impressions of the packaging, this is made in Korea. Yeah, it says that it's made in Korea. I feel like over time in Korea specifically, cushions have like evolved, I guess, and this one, although it's not that important, it feels like a first generation cushion. Like, the packaging is quite cheap. I believe I paid $12 for this. So it's about the same price as like another cushion that you'd buy in Korea, maybe from like Etude House or something. So the price isn't that bad, I think. I don't know if you noticed, but in the actual cushion that holds the foundation, this is, for me, in my opinion, this seems like a very like first generation type of cushion to put the foundation in. If you see the ones now, they're very like advanced, like they look all textured and they hold the foundation better, but I don't know, we'll see. But because from my experience, the original L'Oreal cushion, which I did talk about in my big cushion review video, which I'll try to link up here, and that one I noticed that it ran out of foundation quite quickly, so hopefully that's not the case with this. But anyway, let's just get started. The bruising is all nearly gone. It's just like this yellow bit that's left from the bruise. Some people are wondering what that is. That's just what happens when you have like major bruising. Oh yeah, that's the actual sponge in there is really squishy. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, Maybelline. Oh, bitch. Is that too much? My nose is still healing, or my nose is still sore, so it's kind of painful to tap around my nose. It's a little too yellow for me, but it's okay. We'll use the concealer. Alright, that's actually really pretty. The finish is like really glowy, obviously. But the way it sits on the skin, it really covers pores. It kind of it's smooth over my fine lines, but I have a feeling it's gonna settle into my fine lines. Like, I just have a good feeling about it. And I feel like I did put quite a bit of product, but it's very thin, the formula, so it doesn't feel cakey. It's still really lightweight, and it doesn't really feel like makeup. I don't know, I have a feeling it's gonna sit into my pores as well. You probably can't tell on camera, but in person, it just looks like it's gonna somehow sit into my pores or something, but hopefully that doesn't happen. But as a person that's tried so many foundations, you kind of just get the feeling that it's going to, but we'll see. But so far, I'm really impressed by that. It's really pretty, actually. Actually, you know what? It reminds me a lot of if you guys remember, the Dream Mousse foundation. It looks very similar to that. That came out so many years ago, but it reminds me a lot of that. I want to see a difference between both sides, so I'm going to add this concealer to the right side. I don't know how much I paid for this. I think it was like $7 or $8. But it's a really creamy formula. It's more on the matte side, but hopefully it does blend out really nicely. And it's not too drying on the skin, I feel like. Because, bitch, you know those concealers that when you blend that shit out, it looks really chalky and gross? It doesn't feel like that, so hopefully it sits really well on top of the skin. This area. Oh, and also the puff, it really feels like a first generation sort of puff, if that makes sense. I see if you go to Olive Young and places like that, you know, you can buy huge bags of like makeup sponges, like very generic makeup sponges for like really cheap. You can buy air puffs for cheap now that come in bulk. Okay, I think that's kind of just sticking to my pores. Do you see this? Here's obviously my without makeup, but then here you can kind of see that it's like in the pores. Not a good sign. Hopefully that's just from first application. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for it to settle into the skin, so we'll let it do that. Let's hope she gets herself together in time. So there it is on one side of my face, and then here it is without. I'm gonna do the other side, and yeah, hopefully, I don't know, hopefully something, I don't know. Alright, so my current thoughts on the foundation. The foundation's really, the cushion itself is really nice. The concealer is a little bit more on the drier matte side, but because the foundation is a little bit more moist, it helps balance it out a little bit, so it's not too dry. It's not like a matte on top of a matte formula. The foundation, although it is more on the moist side, it's not super glowy, glossy. It's more of like I guess what we call a natural glow. Which is really nice. I really like this finish. The color is a little bit more on the yellow side for me. However, Maybelline I feel like is more on the yellow side, which is a good thing because I feel like, which can be a good thing because I feel like a lot of drugstore foundations are too pink. They're just, I feel like they never really cater to yellow skin tones. But Maybelline, you know, that is the case with this. If you find that it's the right like the color is the right value for you, but it's not the right undertone, then maybe the concealer might help because the concealer is more on the neutral side, so I think it helped balance it out for me. But for the concealer itself, in terms of coverage, it's like a medium-ish coverage. It's probably because the concealer is too light to cover my dark circles. Sometimes I just need to use a color corrector or a concealer that's a little bit darker or the same as my foundation to actually cover the dark circles. So that's why it more or less made it more gray, more of like a gray color. But if we're just talking about the foundation seems pretty nice. When I finish the rest of my makeup, I think I'm just gonna put brows on, maybe something on my lips, and I'll be right back. Some people are asking my other video where I got this mirror from, and this is from Mimi Box. It came with the new Pony Effect Spring collection, and if you bought either online or in store a certain amount, then they give this to you for free, so I don't think you can buy it separately. But so far I like the foundation. I've only had it for like not that long, so right now it's 8:19. Right now it's 8:19 in the morning, super early, so we'll see how it goes. If you don't know already, my skin type is oily, so yeah. Oh, and also we'll have to see if it oxidizes on my skin, because sometimes if you have oily skin, it can darken the color of the foundation, so that would not be a good thing, because it's already kind of dark for me. Here's what it looks like in person, in this natural sunlight. It's actually a really cloudy day, but that's a good thing. Oh my god, I'm sorry, is this too... Sorry, here I'm trying to fake y'all. I think because it's a little bit more yellow, it kind of helps counterbalance any maybe like white cast that I might have, because sometimes, you know, when you even if your foundation is like the perfect shade match, sometimes when you walk outside, because of like the sunscreen maybe, oh, is there fucking sunscreen? Hold on. Nope, on the packaging doesn't seem like there's any sunscreen. But you know, when if there's a little bit of sunscreen, even a little bit, sometimes if you're in like direct sunlight, it can almost give off the look of like a white cast. I don't have that with this, but then anyway, we just found out that there's not really any sunscreen. At least I don't think so. I don't think that's a problem, but I know for those people that are always complaining about my foundation being too light or looking too light, then I hope you're happy with this one. It's really soft looking on the skin. Alright, not much time has passed. It's only 8:41 still, but I think it's gotten to the point where it's definitely settled into the skin, and it's not looking, I mean, it wasn't looking dry per se, but it was looking like, I don't know, because you know how some makeup can look a little flaky on the skin? I think again, because maybe because I have oily skin or because of my skincare. I just have my regular skincare on. I didn't have any sunscreen or anything. Sometimes, like, even when you have sunscreen, it gives that effect of like when you put makeup on top, it just has like the little the little bits of like it looks like it's peeling in a way. It's all settled into the skin. Creasing a little bit here, but it hasn't like creased surprisingly on me, which is a good thing. So so far it looks great. Update. It is 10:48 in the afternoon. What the fuck? It's moving with that. So it's only been like 2 hours. It's gotten to the point in which I like the foundation to look. It's quite glowy. To some people I feel like this might come off as like oily and greasy, but I really don't mind like this level of glow that I'm getting. I know someone's gonna ask. I got my glasses at nybkusa.com. Surprisingly, it's not looking dry or like cakey. One thing I forgot to mention is after I got my nose surgery done, the skin on my nose got really weird. It got really dry and flaky. And I've been trying to exfoliate, but I think it might take some time for it to get back to normal, but you know, that kind of dryness, it's almost like scaliness, very rough, that even exfoliating won't help, even like moisturizing. So, I mean, I did put a facial oil on today, but it's looking okay. It's not looking as cakey or dry as my foundations that I've been wearing in the past few days have been looking, so it's probably getting better from today, but yeah. Hi, 11:49. Sorry for all these frequent updates, but y'all fucking living for this shit. Look at this. Oh my. Oh! Looks really yellow on this light though. I'm looking almost like a Simpson. Now, I haven't really gone outside, and sometimes that, you know, a lot of times that will affect the way it wears, but the way that it's performing now, I'm really enjoying it. As a person with oily skin, I think if you live in a more, if you're in a more cold climate, like right, you know, it's still cold in Korea. In the cold, dry weather, I feel like it would perform really well. Like it's doing fine right now. It's not hot or anything. But in more oily weather, what the fuck? Hotter weather, I definitely think you might, and if you have oily skin like me, I feel like you might have to set it, unless, you know, you like the glow like I do. Sometimes I don't powder because I want to have this, dewy sort of look, but if I'm gonna go in with like powder, contour, and highlight, I'll probably set it anyway. But so far, even though it's glowy, it's not breaking down on itself, which is a problem that some glowy foundations can tend to do. Like, yeah, you'll have a glow, but after like a few hours, the fact that, you know, it's dewy, and then your skin, if you're like me and you're oily, if you have oily skin, just the combination of that will break down the makeup. But so far, it's not really breaking down at all. The concealer, I think after having it, what the fuck? See, this is what I was talking about, the dry part. But then I also did blow my nose a little bit. I didn't blow my nose. If I'm wearing foundation, I have to blow my nose. I kind of just shove some tissue up my nose and let it soak up the mucus. So I didn't really like touch the rest of my nose with the tissue. But after having used the concealer, I don't think it really made a difference in terms of like concealing. I'm sure it's still there. But originally when I was gonna buy it, I wanted for it to like brighten up the center of my face, and I can't really tell if it's really doing that at this point, but it hasn't affected it. It doesn't look bad right now. So so far my thoughts on the concealer are that it's okay, I suppose. It might have made a difference if I was using, like, again, the number 10 concealer with like a much deeper foundation shade, and so that the difference was much higher. But I was using number 10 in the concealer, number 30 in the foundation, so it probably didn't make too much of a difference, especially after the dewiness, the glow started coming through, and it like started melding together. Hello, guten Tag. Just kidding. So it's, what time is it? It's basically 6 o'clock in the evening, and I've had it on, I believe, for almost 9 hours now. And for me personally, I think it's looking great to me. But I can see it's getting to that point where I feel like people would want to like blot their face maybe. It's not, to me, it looks like a nice glow, but for some people I think it might come off as like oily and greasy. But the fact that it's still like intact and it's not like faded or anything, I think is a good thing. Surprisingly, has not creased under my eyes, which is like, I'm sorry, a godsend. As you can see though, it did, because my glasses, I like, it came off there. Actually, you know what, let's see how well she layers on top of herself if we touch up. Oh, or too much. Oh my god, you see, that's so fucking weird. That's not, there is foundation in there, but like my glasses are so heavy that they like dug into my skin. Actually, my nose is starting to get a little bit more on the dry side, but like I was explaining in the last clip, it kind of happened after my surgery. So if you're a person with dry flaky skin, you might want to consider that and make sure your skin is really exfoliated. But in terms of touching up, it seems to have settled really nicely. But then again, these more dewy foundations tend to be like that. I feel like with more matte powder finish foundations, if you try to touch them up or layer like after they've already been worn, then it like doesn't look good. So that seems to be fine, or you can like blot with a tissue real quick and then touch up. But because of that moistness in the foundation, it kind of melds into itself, so that's a good thing. I'm getting really sleepy. I've been wearing it for quite a while. It's 6:45 in the evening now. I have to say, this is looking really, really good. It almost reminds me of like a more subtle version of the Naked Face cushion. Of course, not as dewy, not as like super full coverage, but the coverage on this one is fantastic. It hasn't faded on me. I guess this is what you would call a little bit, maybe even greasy, but for me, it's still, for me, this is how I like my skin to look, because my face is so what is it? Shitty. Shallow. Very like that, and like I have my acne scarring. I feel like I like dewy skin because sometimes dewy skin can make your skin look more plump, but with acne scarring, I have to get like the right balance because it can accentuate acne scarring. But I think with this foundation, I got like the perfect balance. I still think the shade's a little too yellow for me in person. It's not an exact match for me. It's just a tad bit too yellow. Well, I wouldn't say, because you know a lot of people are like, oh, it looks so orange on me, but this looks a little bit too yellow on me. So if I was gonna wear this again, I'd probably use oh god, my god, did you see what the fuck is this? I'll probably use like a really light concealer in the center of my face to help alleviate that. So that's not too much of a deal, but as a cushion that is more easily accessible, like in America, I guess, I definitely give it a thumbs up. I don't see anything wrong with it. This is my first day wearing it, so I can't say that whether it broke me out or not. But one of the first signs is usually that I can see little spots starting to come up, and right now I don't have any of that anywhere on my face. So that's a good sign. If you have oily skin, I would definitely try powdering it if you're like excessively oily. But in general, if you like more of a dewy finish, I think this is a great foundation. If you have dry skin, I feel like it would be a really good option. Because sometimes I feel like foundations that are targeted towards dry skin are sometimes just way too dewy, but I feel like this is I feel like on a dry skin, this would reach like a really good balance of being moisturizing but not too overly glowy. For me, it looks like this because, again, I have oily skin. So that's why I try to gravitate towards foundations like this, because I feel like the finish is a little bit more customizable. If you have a dewy foundation, you can add powder to make it more matte, or you can leave it alone to leave it more dewy, and I just feel like products on top make it work a little bit better. Whereas I feel like foundations that are more matte, more powdery, can be a little bit more finicky to work with. Sometimes things on top can look dry on it. Things don't blend properly unless you put like a powder on top to help things, you know, blend. Sometimes cream or liquid highlighters and things like that can mess up the surface of it, and it just is all weird. But so far, I really like this foundation. So yeah, there was my little review on the Dream Cushion. I really recommend it. It's not too expensive. I think it's pretty decently priced. Hopefully it lasts a while. But for those of you that are asking and wondering about my opinion on it, there you go. Oh, and also the concealer. The concealer is cute. I don't think it's like a must-have, but coverage was like the coverage okay. I wouldn't say it's a concealer for like covering things. It's more so like maybe brightening the face, and I think that's what it's for. It's like it's for illuminating. If you guys are interested in the product, I will link it down below, or you can just go to fucking Walmart and pick it up, or Target for people that love themselves. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.